Next, we have Mr. Eric Sansick. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Eric Zanzik, and I live in Rustburg. Want to discuss the work session that we had on June 21st regarding building a new elementary school in the Brookville area. According to that work session, the new school would add an additional $45 million to our debt, in addition to the $80 million that was already spent and approved for Rustburg Middle School and Brookville High renovations. The new elementary school would be about a 4.5 cent increase or a 9% increase in our real estate taxes or the equivalent thereof. I looked in the Virginia Department of Education's enrollment tables, and it shows that more and more families are actually opting out of public education and the public schools, and even within the Brookville area. The Leesville Elementary School dropped student enrollment 12% from 2018 to 2021. Tomahawk Elementary was essentially flat over the same period and is still only at 90% capacity. And Heritage Elementary dropped 22% from 2018 to 2021. So where are all the students going? I found many articles that detailed the growth of homeschools in Virginia, but the one article that captured most of the common themes was from the Virginia Mercury, titled "Across Cultural Lines, Homeschooling Has Boomed." Essentially notes that homeschooling is up 40% since 2019, even after the COVID lockdowns. Most continued their studies from home and was just partially due to the culture wars that have been going on in the public schools. I thought which was most telling is the director of Government Affairs for Home Educators Association. They said, I think this will permanently change the landscape of education. I don't think it'll ever go back to the way it was before. Private schools have also seen a massive increase in students. Tree of Life, they tripled their student population from 2020 to 2022. Liberty Christian Academy grew around 10% and is maxed out to capacity. Oak Hill is a new school and is only high school right now, but they hope to expand to K through 12 in the near future. And Timberlake Christian grew over 30% since pre-COVID and has about 100 students on the waiting list. So those private schools that I just listed are in the Brookville area, and they continue to show growth, and all the public enrollment continues to decline. There is a multifamily complex that's being developed in the area, but I think it's a vast overestimation to assume that it's going to have a large impact on public elementary school students. Birth rates in Virginia dropped 10% from 2010 to 2020, and Campbell County's birth rate dropped 6% from 2015 to 2019, and those trends are only expected to continue. In closing, it's often said we need to undertake such projects like building a new elementary school because we need to invest in the community. It's a simplistic understanding to claim that the only way to invest in a community is through tax and spend policies. It is also an investment in the community to allow our residents to keep as much of their own money as possible. This is particularly important when the tax and spend projects only benefit a certain segment of the county. You represent all families within your districts, not just those families that send their children to public schools. You represent those families that send their children to private schools and those families that decide to homeschool. Every single year, those families are paying twice for education. First for their own family's education, and then to pay taxes for public schools that they don't even use. We should not be forcing those families to pay for additional taxes for a new school that's not needed and premised on an antiquated view of education. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Stanzik.